In this video, I'm going to show you how to add a discussion to a module. In your tools, you can choose Add Content, and you have several different options at the top. You'll select Discussion, then you'll select a new topic. My topic will be how to make a usable online course. I'm going to choose Add Item. You can always rearrange within your topic, and then you can select your link to open it and modify your discussion. I'm going to edit my discussion, and because nobody wants to watch me type, I'm going to paste the discussion that I've created in here. Please notice that you can expand this window if you'd like to be able to see everything at once. You can attach a file by choosing a file here. You can embed an image if you'd like. I have an image here. I'll go through uploading images to this spot as well. You can choose a new image by choosing a file, and you can find any image that you'd like. So I'll pick output from one of my programming classes, and then I will choose Upload. That will do two things. It will add it to my files for the class, and it will embed it into my discussion. Now, this programming code obviously has nothing to do with that discussion, so I can delete it here, but you can see that it's very easy to put in. You have several options. You can allow threaded replies, which I generally do. Sometimes you may wish to have users post before seeing their replies. I don't typically use the Enable Podcast feed, but I usually, in this case, would make a discussion graded. You'll typically have both graded and non-graded discussions in your course. The non-graded are typically help areas or areas for just people to discuss things and ask questions, whereas your graded discussions are going to be more formalized and they should have a rubric added to them. You can choose to break your class into specific groups. If you have a large class of, say, 30 students or so, it is more manageable for your students if you break them into 3 groups. And you can have the option to choose this as a group discussion. You can have them sign up, or I would personally split them into 3 equal groups if you had 30 students. That way they only have 10 people to read the discussions from and respond to. It's hard to manage responding to 30. You can set the points possible, which I will typically do when I create a rubric, and you can choose whether to display a grade as percentage, complete, incomplete, points, letter grade, or GPA scale. You can choose what assignment group you're going to put this in. Assignments or discussions are the 2 groups I have currently created. You can require peer reviews, and you can set the due date, available from, and until. I usually don't set these, possibly be available if I don't want them to start too soon, but I don't typically set the until date, because I would typically set the due date, say, on a Friday, and then I would give the additional directions of your initial response to the discussion are due by Friday at midnight. And then I would have the responses to other students due Monday at midnight. So typically I put the due date for the initial post, and I put in my directions for the discussion, I would add here at the bottom that they must respond to, they must put in their post your initial response by Friday at midnight and respond to 2 other students by Monday at midnight. And the reason that I do that is because many people who are really good students get very frustrated when they can't plan in advance, and they do their posts Monday or Tuesday, and they want to go in and they want to respond to somebody else, but nobody else has posted yet. You usually have 1 or 2 students like that per class who will be really organized and ahead of the game, and then they're being forced to go in at the last minute when everybody else is handing their stuff in. And typically, if I'm going to do something like this, I will change my font size. And I can change the type so that it's like a heading 4. That's good for browsers that read for the blind will read things with a heading tag on them as having greater importance than a regular paragraph. You can also do formatting to center, to bold, to italicize, to underline, to change colors, and to highlight. I would do any but not all of those things. Or maybe you could do them all, that doesn't look bad. That will help ensure that your students see that line. So that's the basics for setting up a discussion. There will be another video on some tips for your discussion board.